Okay, we gotta do this quick. We gotta finish this one. So we can do the second one. I'm gonna speak a little bit quieter. Let's do this.
For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, things like that. But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family, leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment. So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way. Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the 3 atrocities. Atrociously ranked, atrociously filthy. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated. It was a lost cause. She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra unworthy of lines. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away. Which is precisely why I killed her. To meet everyone's expectations.
That can't be your only reason, can it?
Well, no, of course not.
It is.
I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
Bruh.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know?
Bruh.
If I planned everything out and knew just what was gonna happen, that'd be so boring.
Bruh.
So I changed things just a bit and decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
Didn't work, buddy.
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal, just as I suspected. When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anybody else.
So you figured it out? Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance. But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
How can you talk like that?
Yeah.
You sacrificed your own sister. How does that not even bother you?
It's in her name.
What? I sacrificed her? That's what's got you so hot under the collar? Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary.
True.
We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations.
True.
Nope. I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all.
Bruh.
When I was born, I cried tears of toll. So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill. We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything.
No.
We've always been filled with despair. So when we do something, we go all the way and live without regret.
No.
You just murdered your own sister? That's not true at all. We were twins. How could I not be sad? That's why it gets me so... Killing my precious sister with my own that act is filled with so much it's like super. It just feels so good.
Bruh.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's my reaction.
And my sister too. In that moment of death, I think she must have felt that after all, to be murdered by your own sister, and only as an example to someone else. She must have died feeling such excruciating. I'm so jealous of her.
I knew you couldn't be just some ordinary person. You're some kind of abnormality.
Turning your own despair into some kind of fetish. Abnormality doesn't even begin to describe it.
Yes.
Like,
Sicko.
Genocide Jill is crazy for sure, but this is a whole nother level of nuts!
It's
You're saying I don't compare to some lowly beast that can only kill the weak, right? So I'm hopelessly attractive, hopelessly brilliant, hopelessly athletic.
I mean,
I mean,
I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, I You're all three except for the third one. I don't know if you're athletic.
I'm the hopelessly perfect ultimate human.
No.
No. I don't think there's anything perfect about anything you just said.
Yeah, Master's way more perfect. Cause on top of everything else, he's got that noble blood.
Don't you mean had that noble blood?
What did you just say? What do you mean by that?
You still haven't figured that part out yet?
His fan
Man,
is dead.
you guys are so
I watched Poke's
slow.
stream.
You haven't even solved all the mysteries, and yet here you are, yapping away.
Are you talking about our memories?
You've already solved this mystery, right? I'm the killer. So how about the next one? Maybe you should solve the riddle of your missing memory.
That's so fun, but
Damn straight! That's exactly what we're going to do.
Makoto,
Then
no.
we'll have our victory!
I can't
Makoto, no.
wait.
Okay, it's almost over.
All right, then let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you...
Why is it playing this song? This song's so unnecessary.
steal?
When the group pictures were taken, and those interviews, I got it! It must have something to do with...
No fair! At least give us a hint!
Your brains are like sponges. All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things.
I got it!
Why is it
You're
playing
talking
this?
about the
There
motives
you
you
go.
provided to try and get us to kill each other, right?
So you do remember after all. Well, I would hope you wouldn't forget something so important. It was stupid of me to even ask. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my bad manners.
No.
So then, let me ask you another question. Did you notice that each motive I presented you had a specific theme to it?
Theme?
Yep, you got it. When Sayaka was murdered, what did?
Shoot! I got it!
Oh, okay.
The driving force behind the motive you presented us with at that point was human connections.
Ding, ding, ding. For example, your family.
Oh,
For example, your friends.
oh.
I ruined all those relationships and showed you the results. It was to motivate your desire to escape and kickstart your urge to kill, but still, what a cruel thing to do.
You're the one that did it.
Yes, well, I'm perfectly happy to accept your disapproval.
Okay, time for the next question. So, what was the theme?
I forgot. Listen. No, it was.
I got it!
Okay.
It was our past, right?
Yay! Makoto got it right again! That time, the theme was... embarrassing memories and secrets! Yeah! And the whole reason Mondo did what he did was to protect his secret.
So, how long do you plan on dragging this out?
Relax, relax. Okay, on to the next question. So, what was the motive for the third murder?
Money. It was money. Money.
I got it! It was money. What's...
Seek and destroy!
Money.
Goddamn straight it was money! Her greed led to all kinds of death and destruction!
What's the point of all this? Why are you making us go through this case by case?
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Just one more to go.
I actually shipped Makoto for some reason.
Now, can you tell me the motive behind crazy-ass Sakura's crazy-ass death?
There was none. She just killed herself.
I got it!
Yeah.
In her case, it was betrayal.
Precisely. You see, once I revealed Sakura's betrayal, that led to everything that came afterwards. Anyway, it looks like you answered all of my questions correctly. How painfully delightful.
But what's the point? What meaning is there in asking those questions now?
Relationships? Secrets? Money? Betrayal?
All the same.
These are all pretty standard motives, right? The most normal of normal. Totally middle of the road.
But of course, those aren't the only motives that exist in this world. In fact, there are as many reasons to kill as there are people on Earth. They compel humans to kill each other. Bringing this is what we refer to as
Seed of despair?
just as water, air, and food promote growth in living things, the seed of despair also needs nourishment. And that nourishment is hope. Despair can grow only in the presence of hope. Two sides of the same coin, divided by a razor-thin line.
How much longer is this stupid speech of yours? Weren't we discussing our missing memories?
If you would listen, you would see I'm not changing the subject. What I'm trying to say is, the seed of despair is closely tied to your own memories.
How so?
You see, by taking away your memories, I gave you hope. Of course, that hope merely existed to be consumed by despair.
How could taking away someone's memories give them hope?
And plus, you haven't given us any hope anyway!
Is that so? All you've been able to think about during your time here is how to escape, right? The mere fact that that's what you want proves I gave you hope.
What are you talking about?
If none of you wanted to escape this school, the killings never would have taken place. That is why we took your memories, so that you would have the desire to leave.
The only reason we want to leave is because you took our memories.
Correctamundo!
Which means if we did have our memories, then we wouldn't want to leave.
Because
Do I understand that right?
because like the principal said so.
What? Why the hell would having our memories make us not want to leave?
A most troubling thought, isn't it? But it's not enough. I want more distress. I put so much effort into creating hope in order to feed your despair and make it grow. So, just like Crazy Eddie slashing his prices and passing the savings on to you, let me give you a hint.
Huh? Really? Then hurry up and tell us.
Okie dokie. Like they say, seeing is believing. I'd like for you to see the outside.
You mean, so something...
Now are you interested in what? Behold! This is the outside world, you...
Shut up. Huh. Looks pretty cool. Oh, I like quoting other streamers, it's very hilarious. Come on, finish the sentence.
dangerous.
What are you talking about?
What am I looking at?
You're looking at your mom.
This is a scene from a movie or something, right?
Nope.
What you just saw. That world is locked away within the memories that were taken from you. If you can't remember...
Because if they were listening to those choices, listen.
Better kick your brain in the ass, because it's up to that gray lump whether you live or die. I don't remember. Ain't a fucking for the final class trial.
Darn, that's just a big damn moment right there.
Come on, bitches. Remember?
What the fuck happened?
You want us to when it comes to that crate? I don't understand a bit. What's the meaning of... Is this another one of your...
I mean, you're telling us to remember. What am I supposed to be Nobody can remember any. This is the end.
For all of us. What other choice do we... Come on, bitches. What the fuck happened?
You want us to when it comes to that crate? I don't understand.
What's the meaning of the footage we saw? Is this another one of your practical jokes?
I mean, you're telling us to remember. What am I supposed to be remembering? Nobody can remember anything.
No, that's wrong. That's big wrong. That's big super gay wrong.
Actually, she might remember. The other token. Genocide Jack.
Sneeze.
Two of them
now.
share...
I see. Then
Sneeze.
What do you
now.
say, Toko?
are you...
Sneeze. Now.
Toko.
Hey.
Boy, she just gave in like it was nothing.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want to have it answered immediately. Do you know anything about this video?
Huh? What video? Who the hell are you? Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
That's enough! Just look at the stupid screen.
Aye, aye. Roger, you got it, Captain.
It's pretty cool outside though.
Well, does it look familiar?
I don't have all the details, but... Of course it does!
Then you remember all the stuff it's showing?
Of course I do!
So you didn't lose your memory after all.
Then why didn't you say something earlier?
I only answer questions when someone bothers to ask me. I'm the quiet type, you know?
He's so much more quiet.
Oh my god, she's the worst liar in the world.
More importantly, if you really do remember, what is it?
Huh? What's the matter, Master? Do you really not remember the tragedy?
A tragedy?
Oh no! You seriously forgot?
Just answer the question. What happened?
Well, I can't really say if it happened or if it's still happening, but it was the biggest, most awful, most tragic...
Why is that phrase coming up now?
Because it's all because of that event.
What is?
Are you serious? I'm talking about the way the world is now.
Is... now?
The world's been destroyed, get it?
Explain yourself.
Copy that, darling. Okay, so this big, awful, tragic event, it was so big and so bad that... I guess you could say what happened was man-made. But it was more on the level of a worldwide natural disaster. Either way, there's no doubt that it was the biggest, and as a result, in basically no time flat, the world turned out the way it did, and that's that.
That's all there is to it?
Wow, that's a good
Come
poem.
on!
That's
there
a good
wasn't a
poem.
single concrete description in there!
Well, it just so happens I don't know any of the specifics. Miss Morose saw it all play out in real time.
We already did, and she didn't know anything. That's why we're asking you.
I couldn't live up to Master's expectations!
Okay, that's enough of your little lover's quarrel.
Huh.
Whatever happened, it doesn't matter at this exact point in time, right? The end justifies the means. Everything serves the outcome. In other words, the world has ended.
How can the world just end?
Calm down. Every living person will be dead in 100 years and...
Oh, come on. Now you're just being ridiculous.
Well, as long as we're being ridiculous. I have another ridiculous story to tell you. It's the story of the Togami Corporation.
What? What did you say?
I'm glad to see you bit into it like a...
Hey! So, what do you think happened to the Togami?
I didn't say...
I just got so fucking bored waiting, I couldn't help it!
Jeez.
Even if you're wrong, eventually you'll figure it out, right? Till then, you're just going in circles.
So, no matter what you pick, you get the right answer. Pretty innovative, don't you think?
But do you think it might be a disease?
Yes.
Anyway, like I was saying, Byakuya's entire lineage has been totally annihilated.
What? What the hell are you talking about?
I can confirm that his entire family has died. Even the distant relatives.
Stop with these idiotic jokes!
Stop! And said with such authority. You must learn your place, peasant.
They couldn't possibly be gone! The Togami family is destined to guide the world!
Nope. Nope.
Hell, there is no world anymore, remember?
Hold on. That doesn't make any sense.
Huh? I don't make sense.
There's no way that happened a year ago. I mean, we only came to this school a few weeks ago.
Nope.
If some kind of... Then how do you explain...
Nope.
Have you...
Mistaken?
Well, if I'm understanding you right, it sounds like you think the tragedy happened...
Well, yeah.
A few... Ooh, I get
2 years
You're
ago.
saying that what happened 2 years ago actually happened more recently, right?
Trying to spoil that from the beginning.
Well, I mean, you guys all started attending Hope's Peak Academy.
I understand why you'd have trouble, and the truth is, everything is cause and effect. So, you must surely understand all the hints I've given you so far, right? What are the memories I took from you?
Now, answer us.
I got it!
Yeah.
If we accept that what you say is true, then we've all lost our memories of the last 2 years after coming to this school.
Nope. No. Seriously?
We've lost 2 years worth of memories?
That's right. You've already... And that entire period of...
I don't remember the last 2 years of my life? That's not possible!
Years worth of memories. I could never lose something like that.
We've been living here for 2 years? Hell no! That's impossible! I mean, I haven't gone to any awesome school events or anything! Heck, I've never even gone to a single class!
This is all just surreal.
But in 2 years of how freaking old am I?
Like 17.
Everyone's so conflicted.
Wait, I think I know the answer to this
2
one.
years? I could never lose.
We've been living here? Hell no! I mean, heck, I've never even gone to a single class!
Oh,
No, what's wrong? Hero, there's something I'd like you to take a look at. This notebook right here.
Huh?
I found it in the locker room on the 2nd floor. If you don't mind, could you take a look inside?
Sure, whatever you want. But I've never seen this notebook before in my life.
What's Is something wrong?
It's kinda similar. This is absolutely my handwriting, without a doubt! But how is this... I don't remember ever writing in this thing! No! No way!
It looks like you actually did attend class here at Hope's Peak, but somehow, you forgot all about it.
Lies! It's all one big lie!
I don't want to believe it either. But there's also no explanation for this pocketbook.
And whose pocketbook is that?
It's mine. And the handwriting inside is also mine. There's no doubt about it. But just like Hero, I have no memory of ever writing in it.
And the reason for that is the 2 years of missing memories?
After seeing all the evidence, do you have any choice but to acknowledge the truth?
Isn't it just so desperately dark? The mystery's solved, but it's like a goddamn funeral in here! Shit, man!
2 years of school life. How many moments of blossoming youth have you missed out on? How many fun classes? How many school events? This was your chance to build lasting friendships. And on top of that, the biggest, most awful, right before everyone's eyes, the world came crashing down. You absorbed all that despair, and once you'd forgotten... Oh, and there's what...
Actually, never mind.
Everyone always talks big, declaring all the great things they'll do. But then they always... This world is just so desperately
What are you talking about?
In a way, I'm jealous of all of you. To give yourself over so completely.
Yeah, so figure out the rest.
Figure out where your memories come apart.
I got it! The moment I lost my memory... when I passed out?
Wow, you still have enough spirit to keep on talking, huh? So I don't know much about the details, but and your sense of time got all messed. I guess it must have been something like...
After I passed out, I woke up in a classroom with my head... I assume not much time had passed since I'd collapsed in the main hall.
But instead...
The reason it felt so short was because Our memories of the time in between had been completely removed?
You got it, honey. So you...
When everyone...
Unaware of this fact, you took the time to introduce yourselves to each other.
But by that point, we'd already spent 2 years together at the school. That's what those photos reveal.
Yep, that's what they reveal. You were all such close friends. And it was all so you could escape into a world that's all... What a...
You're the one who set things up to be like this!
I love you all so much.
Me too.
What?
Once your school life here began, I thought about you constantly. It's only natural that I would fall in love.
So, since I love you guys so much, all about the idea we came up with as the... Let's go back in time 2 years, okay? Back to when everyone first came to this school. School life during that first year overflowed with hope and happiness. Oh boy, it was just the worst. Everyone was enjoying themselves so much. You were all having the time of your lives.
But that couldn't last forever, of course. The peacefulness only made it through that first year. Because after that, an event unfolded that hammered a soul-crushing despair into all of humanity. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. All too soon, the world's days of peace came to a bloody end. And as you can imagine, the school was no exception. The tragedy even made its way here, leading to the extermination of most of the students.
What? The most tragic event in human history. And the ultimate despair that caused it. I can't believe it's all because of just you and Mukuro. Was it some kind of organization? An angry mob? An incredibly motivated family?
You have a point. If I had to describe it, I'd say it was none of those. How can I put it? It was more of an ideological thing. Despair is contagious, you know. It's almost like a natural phenomenon. Everyone is capable of it, and now the entire world has fallen into despair.
In other words, if you see despair as the enemy, then your enemy is the world itself.
I just don't understand why.
We didn't ask you to try to understand. This was a tangent anyway, unrelated to the matter at hand.
Okay, so let's get back to the story. Hope's Peak had taken so much damage. You guys were the only survivors. The members of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy were the only ones left.
And then, something super neat happened. Now pay attention, because this is important, and I'm only gonna say it once. So guess what? To protect everyone who had survived, Hope's Peak was transformed into a shelter. That's right. It was transformed into a shelter. I said it twice.
Now, someone was responsible for that transformation, for creating what would eventually become your prison. Do any of you know who?
Oh, I know.
I got it! Could only have been... He wanted to turn the school into a shelter to try and protect us. To protect us from the despair and tragedy taking place outside. That's why he asked us to make that promise, to say that we were willing to live in this school forever.
We believe he had something like that in mind, yes. If you, the collective hope of a new generation, could survive, maybe the world could have a fresh start.
Yeah, the headmaster put that much faith in you.
And because we had that same... That's why we all agreed to live here forever.
But creating the shelter was also his single biggest mistake. It's laughable, really. He was the headmaster, but he had no idea. He had no idea that we, the ultimate despair, had already made our way into the school. So what was supposed to be a shelter to keep you safe became a cage that... I have to say, it really helped me out a lot.
By the way, it was under the headmaster.
You mean? And then you forgot all about it!
Once you'd finished building your little shelter, and thus
Me and Mukuro had come here, spending the last 2 years waiting for that moment.
That moment where you all began killing each other served as the climax of our global despair plan!
And the only reason you survived the tragedy was so that you could be a part of it. Can you let us live?
Why?
Because this was so much more than a simple high school death match. Rather, it was a method to...
What are you saying?
It's Fortnite.
Well, it would seem that there's a little bit left out there. A few souls unwilling to give up hope. So I thought I should show them, which is...
well, why don't you tell me?
Oh, it's hijacking.
Now I understand. You're talking about you hijacking the airwaves, aren't you?
Uh-huh. That's exactly what I'm talking about. To show the world the murders taking place at this school, which was meant to be a symbol of hope.
That was the whole point of the ultimate despair! The world watched as you fell into despair! Despair is as contagious as any disease.
Isn't the power of television just amazing?
It is.
By the way, since we started broadcasting, a whole bunch of people have tried to come and rescue you.
Are you serious? But utilizing the heavy weaponry I installed around the school grounds, I had no problem expelling them.
Expelled them?
I have to thank you all. They were a relentless bunch, refusing to give up on hope and trying to force their beliefs on the world. But in the end, I was able to give them the final despair. Death.
So you just used us?
Well, sure, but I also gave you a second chance at life, right? So it's like, give and take.
Give and take? You're so full of shit!
Oh, watch your mouth, Makoto. God.
And there's a reason I chose you guys to survive when all the other students were dropping like flies. I mean, we built up 2 years of memories together. You were all my treasured classmates.
Sorry, that's a lie.
And that's the truth. Which is what you wanted, right? You solved the mystery, but despair at the truth, right?
Don't tell me. Did you seriously count on the possibility that we would solve your mystery?
And if we did, then what? Our final desire for creating this world of despair was so we could experience one last class trial. If you were bold enough to solve the mystery, only to discover that the truth was utterly hopeless, how would you react?
See? Discover
Truth can be full.
Not to mention, meaningless? And murdering me?
And think about it.
We weren't just random...
You get it. You're totally awesome, right? We get it already. Don't help us. I'll do anything. Just help me.
A peasant begging for his life? Oh, how delightful! We've never witnessed such a travesty firsthand.
But I'm sorry to... All I want, and since there's no argument, no understand...
Wait, hold on. But there's no real reason for us to believe anything you have to say.
Huh?
You say the world's fallen apart, but I haven't seen it for myself, so I don't acknowledge it. I don't accept it as the truth.
Until you see it with your own eyes. Truth and falsehood overlap one another. In other words, you're not unlike Schrodinger's cat right now. Is that what you're saying? If so, what then?
Are you saying you won't accept the truth until you can go outside and see for yourself? Well, you better not. You go out into that world and you're all goners for sure. Trust me, I'm not lying about any of this.
Well, even if it's all true, I refuse to give in. I refuse to lose to you for the sake of everyone you've killed.
Huh? What are you...
I didn't kill anyone.
And that's all it took for you to stop.
That's why anyone was murdered here, peasant.
Say what you want about hope, but we're all creatures of instinct. Hell yeah!
No! It's It's murder! You stole our memories.
We certainly have it, but we don't have much.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the vote, of course. Oh, and also, since this...
What?
You guys so full of hope, I've decided to have you, if even I'll can... Oh, but don't...
Even if you don't, you still got the upper hand in all this!
It's okay. Nobody would actually vote to kill themselves, right?
Oh, let me just mention one more thing. When I win, to punish you guys, you'll have to stay here till you grow up.
You mean...
We'd have to stay. Enter a world.
What do you... Wait a sec! Dying of old age is boring as shit, right? So, here's what I'll... What?
You mean to say...
And
No.
Makoto!
Yeah.
No.
So let me make up a single. Then only.
Okay, there's gonna
Oh,
die
maybe
I will force you-
punishment
What I'm
if I
saying
don't get
is,
this
if
right,
you said-
basically.
What? Don't you have...
No, it's okay. It would seem all of those are.
It's so beautiful.
Besides, Yoko, you could never be... What? I mean, the heck, that's why the least you can...
Kyoko,
One person... So, who do you think...
no one. We're not...
Okay, last thing.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end of hope.
Don't lose hope now. We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
Oh,
If
what
I
the
were to die,
frick?
that would be the end.
The
By the way, the only reason is thanks to the... If I die, in other words, the communal life you've all of you will have to go into the world outside. So, will you just die?
Shit, that's about it now.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the air outside is the only reason we're okay is thanks to the air purifier.
Don't lose hope now.
Don't lose hope or I'll kick you in the face.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the only reason is thanks to the air. Say whatever you want. If I die, the purifiers will screech to a halt. In other words, as soon as I die, the communal life you've all been living will come to an end.
Don't lose hope now.
I don't care either way. I'm fine with whichever one is more interesting. Actually, I may not look like it, but I always hated school. Hell, no matter how I look, still hate it. Oh, but no matter what, Master has to come along with us.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
Oh,
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the only reason is thanks to the air. Say whatever you want. If I die, in other words, the communal life you've all... I can keep on living! All of you will have to go into the world outside. So, will you just die?
How fricked up.
We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
If I were to die, that would be the end. By the way, the only reason is thanks to the air. Say whatever you want. If I die, in other words, the communal life you've all... I can keep on living! All of you will have to leave. You'll have to go into the world outside. We're...
Don't lose hope now. We won't give up. As long as there's hope, we'll never give up.
There you go.
If I were to die, that would be the end.
The
By the way, the only reason is thanks to the air.
Music
Say whatever
plays
you
in
want. If I
background.
die, in other words, the communal life you've all... I can keep on living! All of you will have to go into the world outside.
I already said I would claim the masterminds.
So, what are you gonna do? You just die.
Don't lose hope now.
I didn't really know my father, but even if we're just connected by blood, he would never want us to abandon Makoto and choose to stay here. I can't explain why exactly. Just because we don't actually know anything. Could it be that... No, never mind. So, I don't think you wound up at this school. I think you came here... You came here, and if that's true... What the heck?
Ooh.
So uncool. Your stupid faces. The stupid girls. Shut up, Scream.
You're gonna get fricked killed. We're gonna finish this game once and for all. Let's do this.
You suck. What do you want? So uncool. You dare to stand against us? Hope is a joke. Who are you?
Your idiocy ends here.
You're gross. Suffer from despair.
I just love despair.
You suck. What do you want? So uncool.
You're unbearable.
Hope is a joke. Who are you?
Would you like to die?
You're gross. Suffer from despair. Everything is pointless.
Yes.
Despair into tomorrow.
Keeps on going.
Get Nene on. Get whipped and Nene. You're gonna get dabbed
I
on.
refuse to give up. I refuse to despair.
Speech 100.
Because all I have going for me is the desire to keep moving forward.
What's going on?
What's happening?
You're dying. Yep, done. Alright guys, we did it. Alright boys, we did it boys. I'll be right back guys, the bathroom. Been holding it for 42 minutes. Now you won't have to watch me suffer through the class trials in the first game.
It looks like we've reached the end. I think...
Wait. We just gotta pull the lever, right?
Good. I'm ready to go.
Let's put an end to these trials. Put an end to the killing.
Not really.
With our own hands.
This is guilty. Dude. And she's gonna talk about how she enjoys that.
The hell?
Indeed.
I lost? Well, that's just... What the heck? Well, that's just totally the best!
Why do I hate and like the face at the same time?
So this is despair.
You know what, let's just skip this part. We're not gonna skip the execution. This final episode. And I don't care about getting copyright striked at all. Let's do this.
It's fine, it's fine.
It can't.
Stop it! is how the despair of death feels. It's so wonderful! Even 1/10 of this despair. Even 100th. I want every last soul on this planet to taste such despair. I want the entire world to die with that despair in its mouth. Okay, let's do this. I've reserved an extra special punishment for last. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
She's a crazy girl. What the hey? Let's just do it. Let's watch it together. Won't take like 5 minutes. Goodbye. Have a nice time. I wonder who is that in the rocket? Oh. $1,000 plays. Ooh. I can see she's enjoying that. Mr. Beast. I wonder how she could survive all those. Oh, head get crushed. Copyright strike claim? Here I come. Cause I got copyright striked on the when I showed Chihiro's alter ego's execution. Oh, cool. A button. Pick it up, Makoto. Yep, she just says that's all over. Yep. Just finished the game, boys. Hope you're proud. Yes. Just gonna... Epilogue. Danganronpa. Looks pretty good. I like the artwork for this. Did you know that it was planned for everybody to actually leave? There's an ending, so everyone to leave
Makoto.
without anyone dying. It's actually pretty good. Pretty cool.
So,
Oh.
If, on the other hand, you desire to see us punished, then you must all leave this place.
I will force you out, ensuring you all die horrible deaths.
In other words,
They all won't. Yeah, I just spoiled everything about it. So, all you guys, I said I will spoil everything, and I will. They won't die. As you probably don't know, Toko and Makoto's sister have a spin-off game called Ultimate Despair Girls, which is placed after the second game. Technically, it's a third game, so there's 4 installments in the series. Because V3, not really canon yet. They said it was going to be canon if they release another game, but dude. Anyways, Toko's alive. Everyone's alive. In the end of Host Peak Academy anime, Hagakure's still alive, surprisingly, but he almost died in the second season. So
in
yeah.
other words,
Let's just skip all this dialogue. They're probably going to talk about hope and stuff, which I really won't care about in the future. So, let's finish the game.
Well, I guess this is goodbye. And goodbye to Sakura. But hey, if we gotta say goodbye, we may as well do it with a smile on our face.
Hey guys! You guys want your fortunes told anywhere, anytime. You just let me know. I'll be there.
Even though you're 30% right, you're probably 70% wrong.
You know how much I hate being annoyed, but if something does come up, you may as well let me know.
Okay, you want to hear a quick spoiler? Not really a spoiler, but it comes up in the second game. Byakuya, Kyoko, Makoto, Asahina, and Hagakure are part of the future foundation, while Toko, as I've already said, meets up with Kamaru after the events of the second game, and Ultra Despair Girls gameplay intensifies.
I can't guarantee I'll actually bother listening, but, you know.
I don't know why, but I have a burning desire to start writing.
We'll write a book about this, and then it'll soon turn into this game.
I might be able to pull it off. A story about Master and me.
I can't say I'm sorry about what happened, but still, it does feel kind of strange.
I really don't know what to say. I guess we graduated?
Yes, everyone else got expelled. Look at this photo. It's amazing. Button push. Here's the ending cutscene. Yo, there's buttons on the side. They could have had somebody hack into there like Chihiro, then they would have got out sooner. What the frick, mate? Chihiro would have still be alive. Well, boys, I told you it was a quick stream. I'll watch the credits by myself. See ya.